Welcome back. It's Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays, and you are tuned in to the Minding My Temple podcast with me, your host, drum roll, or the crowd goes wild, Tasha T. It's me, and guess what? It's time. It's time for season 4. You guys have stuck with me through 4 seasons. You have no idea. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm just super excited to be back yet again for season 4, giving you all the Minding My Temple podcast. You guys have stuck with me through this pandemic. I mean, we're still in it. Let's be real about that. But I started this platform in 2020, right at the height of the pandemic. And you guys have been hanging in there with me as I talk all about minding my temple. And for those of you guys that want a little background about where Minding My Temple started, it simply started with me just being me. So my last name is Temple. And play on words, temple means body. So I'm really into how people feel and what people are putting in their bodies, how they feel in their bodies, and just general overall balance in life. So a little bit about me and my background. I am a registered dietitian. I'm also a licensed professional counselor. So I mix and marry nutrition, wellness, exercise, mental health, and all of that in one to help myself, right? If I'm struggling finding balance, I figured that a lot of people would be struggling, and I figured why not share those struggles with everyone else, and then also share my wealth of knowledge about how to balance those struggles with everybody else. And that's why I'm here bringing to you guys the Minding My Temple podcast every week. And again, I'm excited to be back for season 4. It's time. And this season, I have so much in store for you guys. First, if you noticed, and if you don't notice because you haven't seen me on my video podcast yet, make sure you go check it out. So you can either check that out on www.tlscradio.com. At the top, you'll see fan page, and then you'll just click on Minding My Temple, and it'll take you to previous and past episodes. It'll also take you to any of the current episodes, and you can either listen to audio, but you can also look at video. Or you can go to my YouTube page. It's going to be at YouTube. Of course, just go to YouTube and put in Minding My Temple, and it'll take you to my YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe to catch out any of the videos that I've done in the past and am doing going forward. But if you notice, I'm sitting somewhere different. What I decided is this year I wanted to sit somewhere comfortable. You know, I've been bringing this podcast to you guys from my dining room table, and then I just started to feel like that's just a little stuffy. I wanted to feel like I'm having a couch conversation with you guys. So I'm sitting in my living room on my couch. And yes, this is a wall behind me full of curtains. It's so cozy and amazing. I just feel so much better sitting in this space with you guys because I'm really just talking to you guys from my heart. And I want it to sound like, you know, I'm talking to you as someone who cares and loves about you. Or, I'm sorry, cares. Is that how it goes? No. Yes, no. Loves and cares about you. Look, I can't even get it straight. And like friends. And so just like you ask your friends health conversation, you know, health questions. I can't get it straight, you guys. I've been off for so long, right? We've been off since Thanksgiving, and I've been doing so much, which I'm gonna catch you up on. I'm having a hard time talking today, so bear with me. Now, again, like I said, just like you're having a conversation with one of your friends, I just want it to be conversational. There it is. And I wanted you to be able to be free to feel like you can get the questions answered, like you're talking to your homegirl or your homeboy, which I know I don't sound like two homeboys talking, but and you get what I'm saying. Now, also, as I'm speaking about that, it brings me to let you guys know that in that conversation this year, you can live chat with me. All you have to do is go to the www.tlscradio.com platform. Yes, everything's housed there. And click again on that fan page, Minding My Temple. You might as well just save the fan page of Minding My Temple just in your favorites. So you just got to click your favorites and go there whenever you have time or whenever you want to go there. But on that page, you'll find a listen live button. So of course, I'll be live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can also live chat with me, which means if I'm saying something in the moment and you have a question, or you're like, can you elaborate more on that? I need to know more about this. You can actually ask me live and direct. So make sure you guys save that page to your favorites. You can only get to that live chat, however, through the tlscradio.com platform. You cannot get to that through my YouTube page. However, you can always go back and see past episodes. But remember, if you want a live chat and you have really great questions you want to ask me, you can do that live and direct. I know it's like so old school to say live and direct, right? But I mean, y'all know how old I am. I'm in my 40s, so excuse me if I say some old school terminology. However, some other things that are new this season is make sure you stay up, again, like I said, on the fan page. It'll bring you up to speed on everything that I have going on. You can also follow me on Instagram at Minding My Temple. You can also check me out on YouTube. Like I said, you'll just go to YouTube and type in the Minding My Temple, or not the Minding My Temple. You just type in Minding My Temple and my page should come up. So make sure you like and subscribe. And make sure you just listen every Wednesday here on TLSC Radio. Again, like I said, I'll be chatting live with you guys, which is going to be really fun, so I can answer your questions right then and there. And then guess what else is happening? I am about to drop a vlog. That's a vlog, not a blog like a written one, but a vlog, like a video blog. So I've been requested to do a video blog this year. Again, mind my speaking, because again, I've been out of practice for a while, but I'm starting a vlog this year, so you guys can check that out also on my YouTube page and also through my Instagram page and also on the TLSC Radio platform. And that has actually nothing to do with Minding My Temple, or it does, because actually Minding My Temple is all about what I have to share with you guys, but it's not specifically about the pillars that I have of Minding My Temple. It's simply me talking about life and the challenges I face or the things I feel like I want to share. So, I might talk about my experience with exercise and lack of motivation, but still do it. I want to talk about, humility and what that means for people. And I want to talk about envy and jealousy and how that plays out in this whole hater term and the real definitions of how that plays out and if people experience that or don't experience it. There's so many things I have in my mind. I'm such an analytical person. I live in my head and there are so many thoughts going on for me all the time that if I'm thinking about these things, I know that you guys are probably thinking about these things. And to be honest, the stuff that I have in my head are things that we often don't like to talk about or don't like to say out loud. And I'm going to put myself in a vulnerable space and I'm going to vlog about it for you all. Because one thing I do know is we stay sick in our secrets. I know that sounds really cliche. However, it's the one thing that keeps us feeling shame and embarrassed and not really free to be ourselves. And what I'm doing my best at this year is being more authentic and providing a space where people feel safe to say what's really on their minds and what's really in their hearts and what's really in their soul, because most of us are just walking around closed up people saying and doing things that we think we should and shouldn't be doing and should and shouldn't be saying. And so hopefully that vlog gives you guys a place to know that, it's normal to feel the way you're feeling. It's normal to have the thoughts you're having. Like, we're all human and we're living this human experience, and I'm gonna share mine with you and hopefully it resonates. That's all I know. That's it. Check it out though, because I'm excited about it. And I'll also tell you why I'm excited about it. So this episode today is just kind of recapping what I've been up to, and then just telling you what we're going to have in store this year. Let's first talk about what's in store. I want to do that first, and then we'll go back and talk about what I've been up to and how I've got to the place of the vlog and all of that. So this year I thought it was really important to talk about health. And the reason I wanted to talk about health is because we've been dealing with COVID. Let's be real about that. We've been living in this pandemic, and throughout this pandemic, health has been a big conversation and mortality has been a big conversation. And people are starting to think about, how do I feel in my body? Am I healthy? Are there medical conditions that are plaguing me? Do I feel good? All those types of conversations are happening for a lot of people. And so I wanted to talk about a lot of the diseases that we all face. Nutrition plays a big role in us navigating through our health and navigating through wellness and navigating through longevity. And what I realized in my conversations with people is that most of us don't have a clue about food. there's so much information out there. It's hard to decipher what's true, what's not true, what should I follow, what should I not follow, what works, what doesn't work. And it all gets convoluted because everyone's out here doing their best to give nutrition advice. And to be really honest, even in the best intentions, a lot of people just are not qualified to do so. And so just because I've done something that works for me doesn't necessarily mean that's based on how people's bodies actually work and effectively work. So my goal is to simply educate you all on how food interacts with your body and how food interacts with certain diseases and certain conditions that we live with. For example, diabetes is really huge in our country. Let's just be real. All of us can probably raise our hand and say we know somebody who has been suffering with diabetes or living with diabetes. And so a lot of misconceptions happen around the word sugar. And so we're going to dive into what really sugar is and what it does in the body and how it specifically impacts people living with diabetes and how to navigate how to eat that stuff. Because real talk, it's not realistic to tell somebody to stop eating sugar. It's just not realistic. And so my goal is to make sure that I give you guys information that is going to be usable and sustainable, obtainable, and realistic to do. Because otherwise, we're going to keep going through these cycles. And so diabetes is one I want to hit. Another one is heart disease, and that's because heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death in America. However, in the past 2 years, it runs a short second to COVID. But there's this thing called long COVID now also that's impacting people's health. It's making people with diabetes worse. It's making heart disease worse. It's making having strokes worse. And so it's actually creating a lot of these conditions that people would have not normally had. So I do want to talk about 1, diabetes, 2, heart disease. I want to talk about stroke. I want to talk about long COVID. Let's also talk about the things that people are suffering with, like GI issues. I'll be real honest. I have a lot of trauma. Let's call it trauma, right? I have a lot of challenges with GI issues. And so I've noticed that my body just does not handle food like it used to. And, you know, I've been having a lot of challenges with my health in regards to my GI challenges, and I would like to share how that looks and how that works because it's something people don't want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about their gastrointestinal issues. It's embarrassing, but it's real. And so I do want to give you guys the real on these medical conditions. So let's talk about cancer. Let's talk about weight loss and obesity and how it's become so difficult to lose weight and all these fad dieting. You know, let's talk about it. And so that's what I want to focus on this year. And so tune in because everyone knows somebody that's living with diabetes or heart disease or cancer or GI issues or challenges with their kidneys or challenges with their liver. We all know somebody or we're that person. And I want to be that vessel or that source of information where you guys can get it and get it right. And I don't mean like right and wrong, but get the knowledge that actually you can use and that's based on some scientific stuff. Because again, like I said, I am a registered dietitian. I went to school for years to study how food impacts the body. And so hopefully what I've learned, I can pass it on to you guys and you guys can understand it in a way that's simple because that's what I like to do. And so if you stick with me, I'm going to give you a lot of information about how to navigate through your health in regards to food this season. So yay! That's what I'm up to this season. Now let's talk about what I've been up to over the past couple of months because you guys know I have this segment on my podcast called Minding My Business. The reason this section is so important to me is because if we're not focusing on our own business and tending to our own business, how in the world can we be effective out here and out there in the streets? Okay? Now, you know, we're always trying to figure out what Susie Q's doing and what Bobby K is up to and then what Miss Mary Jane is doing over there, but we rarely take the time to mind our own business. And I'm being facetious and funny about, you know, minding other people's business, but what I really want to say is we don't take the time to look at self in regards to like self-awareness or even taking care of self, like doing the things that we need just to stay balanced in life. I use balance a lot of times rather than healthy because I do feel like healthy sometimes can seem too obtainable or too, not obtainable, but not obtainable. You get it? Like it just seems so far-fetched a lot of times. And so I'm saying, let's figure out how we can balance our life where we can mix all these things together and still feel good without it being all frou-frou and green grass and all that puppies and butterflies. I just like to get real and let's just have some balance, right? We want to have some fun. We want to eat some fast food sometimes. You know, I want to lay my head down and rest a few times. Like, we want to make sure we do it all without feeling overwhelmed. And so that's why I have this Minding My Business segment, because I like to take the time to intentionally do things where I'm tending to myself and staying out of all those other folks' business. So this time of year, it's the beginning of the year. I mean, I know it's February now. Everybody's kind of got those resolutions out of the way. And we're really getting into the nitty gritty of 2022. And so what I decided this year in regards to what am I going to do for myself, and I'm not typically one that makes resolutions. I do, however, make a whole lot of to-do lists. And they don't often work for me. And so I tried to figure out, like, why do I keep doing these things that just don't work for me? What is something that I can put into place that is going to support where I want to be and how I want to feel? And so what I decided to do was take some advice from some people around me, which is something I also don't do very often, and try to reduce my to-do and task list and focus on the root of me. Because what I started to realize is if I'm constantly, authentically being me and honoring the things that are in my heart and on my mind and in my soul, that everything will actually align and line up if I'm just being myself, right? So I read this book called One Word. No, this is not like a shameless plug. I'm really telling you guys because it was something I actually did. So anytime I tell you guys about anything, trust me, it's because I like it, I did it, and it's working for me, and it's something I actually promote, not because I'm getting paid or anything like that, okay? Just so you know. So I read this book, One Word. It's really easy. It takes like 45 minutes to read. I read it on the beach in Jamaica, which I'll tell you about a little later. And I realized that I just need to focus on one word, like a theme for my year. So if I'm always sticking with my theme, like if I have a color theme in my house that you see here, it's white and cream. So if I stick with the theme, the cohesiveness of my house will automatically come together, which happened for me when I decorated my house, by the way. And I'll give you guys a tour on my blog of my condo so you can see all the fabulousness of my creams and whites and grays and tans. However, I decided that the theme for my life this year was going to be one word, and my one word is be. Silence, yes. You hear the birds chirping? Tweet, tweet. It's be. And that's because if I focus on simply being me, then all the rest will come. And so I'm often so focused on the task at hand and doing this and doing that, that I forget to simply be. So I have this phrase that I like to remember. It's called be, do, have. A lot of us have it different ways, but I realize that if I am being authentic and true to myself, that will determine what I do. And what I do when I'm being authentic will then create what I will have. And so I'm like, let's try it. So when I'm being myself, the universe around me completely flows. When I am being exactly who God created me to be, things happen. When I'm trying to force it by doing, because let me be real, y'all, I'm a task-oriented girl. I like to do. Let me do this, let me do that, let me do this, let me do that. And I forget to be present with being me and honoring simply who I am. So my word for 2022, or my theme for the year, is be. Just simply be. That's it. Because I do want to focus on being present and being authentically myself all the time. And this podcast gives me an opportunity to do that, because as uncomfortable as this is for me, it does allow me to be the educator that's naturally in me. And I thank y'all for that. So be. Now, I've kind of broken it down by month. In January, my B was like, I have a B something every month, because I got to break it down like that. So as I'm minding my business in January, I was focused on being disciplined. So in January, I was be disciplined. I would tell myself to be disciplined, because I got a little off track, and I started to notice as I creep up with more years of life, things start to change. And so I started to change and get less motivated about working out. And so I said, I get to be disciplined in my activities every day so that I can be focused, and so that I could be successful and I could be at peace. And so I started to incorporate some things in my daily routine that I've never done before. I'm not a morning person at all. And I decided to start getting up in the morning. Maybe I didn't decide it. I was like heavily pushed. So now I get up in the morning and I meditate. Yes. And not like no frou-frou meditation. I just listen to something that helps me to wake up slowly, because since I'm not a morning person, jarring alarm waking me up super fast doesn't work. So I started to wake up a little slower, which actually makes me feel a little better. And then I also, after that, journal. And I don't like frou-frou journal. It ain't that serious. What I do simply is I have a regular notebook, and on the front it says B. Look at that, B. And it says be disciplined for January, because that's already happened. And in there, all I do is write a little something, and it's color-coded. Look at that. It's color-coded. I love it. So every day I use a different color, and I simply write gratitude, what I'm grateful for. I write just ideas that are in my head regularly, because I realized I've gotten away from being creative. That's like in me, in my heart, and I haven't been doing that, so I get to be creative. And then I just write the best part of my day. That's it. Takes me like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't write like all my thoughts down and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't work for me, because I live in my head. I don't need to write down all that stuff. So I keep it simple. I'm being simple. Look at that. So I do that every day, and then I work out in the morning. So I realized the workouts that I had been doing weren't working for me that well, because my body was not really responding. So I started doing calisthenics. I don't really know what the word is, so y'all can go look it up. Correct me later. But it's those things that you use your body weight to do to work out. So like I'll do jumping jacks, and then jump squats, and burpees, and lunges, and mountain climbers, and push-ups, and planks, and all of that kind of stuff. And it actually has started to make a difference. And in that month of January, as I was being disciplined, I've noticed some major changes already. And so I get to continue to be disciplined. However, in February, I decided to simply be love. And I know that sounds probably cliche. And for me, it's a big thing, because love is a challenge for me. We'll talk about that one day on the vlog. So this happy feeling, love feeling, is something that I find challenging. And so in February, I know love is in me, and I'm a very loving and kind soul. And it's challenging for me to express it, because it does feel very vulnerable for me. And so I'm going to simply be love, because I know that's simply a part of who I am in February. So that's what I've been up to. Yay. So just to give you a little rundown of the Minding My Temple podcast, again, so you guys know what we're going to be focusing on. There are 4 pillars that the Minding My Temple platform has been built on, and I'm just going to go over those so you know throughout this season what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these things. So I have 4 pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4. They all start with an M, because I like for things to like flow, like Minding My Temple. It's going to have 4 pillars that start with an M. It's a thing for me. I don't know what you call it, but I like it. So the 4 pillars include the following. So number 1, we're going to be focused on meals. That's because I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm a certified diabetes care and education specialist. So of course I'm going to be talking about food. It's my favorite topic to talk about, and it's because none of us can live without it. And also, I just think it's fun and exciting to teach you guys all about food. So when I say meals, what I'm really talking about is the main energy for your body. That's all it is. And so we're going to get down to the nitty gritty about that and keep it basic and simple, but we're just simply talking about the energy for your body. We're going to talk about movement, And I'm not talking about like exercising, physical activity and getting in the gym. I'm just talking about moving your body regularly, because we need to make sure that our body uses that energy that we're getting from the meals. So let's talk about how we're going to move that through, right? Because we want to burn some calories. Yes. We also are going to be talking about mindfulness. And I don't talk about mindfulness in a way like, oh, let's go out here and zoom, like all of that. And I'm all for it because I do yoga. Yes, all namaste. However, like, it doesn't have to be that deep, I guess. It can be simple. When I talk about mindfulness, I'm really talking about, have you done something for yourself today? Have you done something fun? Have you done something relaxing? It could be simple as like, did I take a shower? Sometimes that's relaxing for me, you know? Or is it like, did I walk outside in the grass with no shoes on? That's fun for me. So did I do something fun today? Did I do something mindful? Did I do something for myself? That's what I mean by mindfulness. It doesn't have to be all serious and meditative. It could just be like chill and cool and fun. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then my last one I added this year. I added migrate. And I thought migrating would be such a cool idea to follow along with the M platform, because one thing I think that's important is making sure we share and connect our energy with others by exploring new places. And so making sure we get out and explore new places, new culture, and new people helps us to have that sense of purpose in the world. And so when I say I've added migrate, I'm going to also start talking about my travels. That's why I said I traveled to Jamaica earlier, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. But I think it's also important to incorporate different foods, right? Different movements, different mindfulness practices from different cultures in different areas of the world, because not everyone has these health concerns in their countries that we have here in the United States. And so we need to start looking outward, like, what are people doing that's working? Because some of the stuff we're doing isn't working. And so my goal is to migrate, which means to explore other areas and travel. It's not like migrate like we a herd of animals, but we want to get out there and migrate to other places and mix and mingle with other people and cultures so that we can understand, like, what else is out there that we don't know? Because, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So I want to get out there and figure out what I don't know so I can bring it back to you guys and share. So this year I will be sharing all about my migrating and travels so that you guys can learn more about what other cultures have to offer, specific in relation to meals, movement, and mindfulness. So follow me. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you stay here. Again, like I said, there's so much to share this year, and I'm excited. And so just make sure that you guys check me out and follow me on Instagram at Minding My Temple. Remember, I'll keep you updated on everything there. So whenever a podcast drops, whenever a vlog drops, whenever I'm doing travel blogging, any of that, you can, of course, find it all on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I forgot to tell you guys that. However, I haven't posted a thing because I ain't figured that out yet. So if anybody out there wants to teach me TikTok, please come and let me know, because I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm not really great at videos like that, but you know, I can learn. I'm also on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe the YouTube page. And that's Minding My Temple as well. And of course, you know, you can always catch me here on the TLSC radio platform every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you ever miss an episode, they're always readily available for you to listen and watch now that I have these videos. And you can check that out on www.tlscradio.com. Fan page, Minding My Temple. Other than that, I'm so excited for this season to get started. I hope you guys have a fantastic, which I don't use that word that much, so it probably sounded weird for those of y'all that know me, but I hope you guys have an awesome week. And then guess what? I'll see you next week right here on the TLSC radio platform. It's the Minding My Temple podcast, and I am Tasha Temple. Yeah. Peace.